One of the lesser-known series of missions in Cyberpunk is the Imagine gigs with a Buddhist Zen master. You originally stumble upon this questline if you were walking through the downtown Corpo Plaza area, and more specifically in the gardens. Here you will find a Zen master who asks you for some money to take you on a spiritual journey, as he has seen something in you. If you accept, you're transported into a foreign jungle, the likes of which you see nowhere else in the game for the most part, and this series continues with you meeting this mysterious monk in many locations across the world, hearing his words of wisdom, and having your mind be transported to unknown locations in nature, each time with the monk disappearing when you come back to your senses. It's a nice change of pace from the chaos of the rest of the game, but it's also harboring some very significant ramifications. A big part of the Cyberpunk main story is about the idea of human souls and what it means to be human, about whether copying ourselves into new bodies is really us or some new sort of monstrosity. And the ending of this questline specifically has some big answers for us. You see, upon completing the last meetup with this monk, he once again disappears into oblivion. But this time, Johnny is now next to us, sitting and looking into the distance. When confronted about his thoughts on the monk and his visions, Johnny questions what you are even talking about, and it quickly becomes clear that he has not been seeing what you have. The reason this is so significant is this is the only time in the entire game where you and Johnny had this sort of cognitive dissonance. Through every fight and every cutscene, Johnny is with you along the way, and it is only on the journeys with this monk that he seems to remember nothing. These journeys through your soul. Sitting next to Johnny after the monk disappears are two objects, a Buddhist altar trinket and a small shard. The shard tells the story of a man telling his grandson the story of the Tower of Babel, which, for those of you who don't know, is a story of humankind building a tower to try and reach heaven to avoid persecution, which resulted in God creating multiple languages to spite them. And in this shard, the man tells his grandson about the different religions and atheism, and how they all wanted to answer one burning question: do we have a soul or not? It is strongly implied through this entire quest that, at least in Cyberpunk, we do have a soul, and that even a crazy terrorist man stuck in your head cannot take that away from you, and that maybe what these monks across the game world are studying is how to tap into our souls in a world that has become so soulless. This also would have implications for the ending and story beats of Cyberpunk, as it would confirm that those transferring their mind and body to new hosts and living on will still have lost what made them human, the soul. In fact, in one of Maximum Mike's radio discussions, he mentions that this monk master may just be Bartmoss wandering around in a new body, helping to offer guidance to lost souls, as we know others like Misty have seen this man from logs on her computer as well.